Hi, David here and welcome to my channel. I've constructed this video to show you guys just how much you can save by building your very own kitchen cabinets. Now the first cabinet I'm going to be building today is a 900 by 720 millimeter kitchen drawer cabinet, which is a free drawer cabinet. Now they normally retail for around about $422 to $480. Now we can build it for around about $233. So that's roughly a savings of $160. Anyway, all the measurements and everything you need is in the description below. Now I did not include the saw, which I'm going to explain to you on how to cut melamine. Now, if you're building more than one cabinet, or if you're doing a whole kitchen, then it is definitely worth investing in a good saw. Other than that, if you're just building a small cabinet, then really it may be beneficial that you just buy a cabinet from a hardware store that you pre-assemble yourself. But anyway, on to the next thing. I'm going to show you guys how to cut melamine. Now melamine is the first time I ever dealt with melamine, I cut it with a normal saw. Well, this is what happens, is this edge along here, okay, which is horrible. Now there is a correct way of cutting melamine, and that is the more teeth on your saw, the better the cut. So this one we've got here in my table saw is around about 60 teeth. Now if you don't have a table saw, that's okay. You can use a normal everyday saw, but bear in mind that you need the right amount of teeth for the job. Now when you cut with a normal saw, you can clamp a fence, you can do it in your garage, wherever there's space outside, it's achievable. But anyway, I'm going to show you how to cut melamine, which I'm going to do a short demonstration right now. So let's get my safety glasses. Now first thing you want to do is we want to take the saw down halfway usually, so we're going to do a pass, okay? So usually around about just past halfway, and we're going to run that through. Now I don't have my earmuffs with me, I've got my safety glasses on. Okay, and as you can see, we have a nice clean cut. I'll just hold that up to the camera just so you can see just how clean that cut is. Okay, now I have seen guys put masking tape. I don't know why they do that, but anyway, as you can see, that's a perfect cut, and I've been doing this for a while now, and it works fine. Okay. Okay, now that we've cut all of our panels, we have to put the edge stripping on. Now, I just want to explain to you about melamine edge stripping. Now, in the description I gave below, you buy this stuff from any hardware store or budding store, and it's usually around about $14 and $15, give or take, for 10 meters. Now, this stuff has the advantages of it. It's easy to put on. Okay. Where I wouldn't use it would be on places where you have drawers that have heavy items being dragged across them. Number one is pots and pans cupboard, or if you're building a kitchen cabinet underneath your sink areas where it gets heavy use, then I probably really would not recommend really using this, because it does and it can chip easily. Now, if you do have heavy items, then I would suggest using the this custom stuff, which you can buy from a lot of hardware stores. Bunnings do a lot of this stuff, and it's usually they sell it in 600 wide. So most kitchen shelves or kitchen cabinets, or the ones I'm building now, are usually around about 560 mil wide, or so it's a little bit more expensive, but it's heavier duty. And I'll just show you up on the camera here. I don't know if you can see that, but it is quite, it sort of looks like around about 2 millimeters in thickness. Now, you're probably better off using that. But other than that, normal drawer cupboards like the ones I'm building today, it really, this stuff is fine, and it really is, yeah, it's okay to use. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to put some edge stripping on now that we've cut all our boards to size. Okay, so what we want to do is, or what we will be using, is an iron. A normal house iron you can use. This one was given to me from my wife. She had no use for it, so hey, I'm using it for my edge stripping. And you will also need a sharp chisel and a file. So what we're going to do is first plug in the iron. Shouldn't take too long to heat up there. And we're going to get our board and our edge stripping. Now usually what you do is you just roll that out. It breaks quite easily. Just break it there to the stuff that's to the length that we need, a little bit of overhang. So what you want to do is you've got it here just over the top like so. So we've got that irons ready to go. Just start from the end and you just leave on each edge just an equal amount on each edge and just run over it reasonably quickly just to get it on. So usually I'll sort of leave the iron on for around about a couple of minutes or no more than that, because you don't want to hold it on for too long, otherwise you're going to burn the edge stripping or the melamine. So just enough there, like so. So if you don't put it on for long enough, then the glue, well, glue is going to activate, but if you don't put it on for long enough, then not all the glue is going to adhere. Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I'm happy with that. Pull the iron out. So, what we want to do is we've got the edges, and we just grab the file on the two edges here. What we want to do is just knock this down. So work your file down. And that should just break off like so. Same with the other side. I already did that side there, but just on the edge like that, and just like so. Okay, so with your chisel and your file, first thing we're going to do is we're going to take off the excess trim. Now to do that with your chisel, you need to hold your chisel usually around about on a 45-degree angle, and just with your index finger, you usually put my finger just under the blade, and then just resting on top of the board and just slightly tilt your chisel up, and that index finger is sort of like stopping your chisel from digging into the board. It's quite easy. So all you do is you just drag it along like so. Okay. Also to mention, when you're doing, depending on the size of the sheets, is to usually put a screw just on the end here, because the board's naturally going to want to push forward. Okay, so once we've done that, you just get the rasp of the file and go along the edge. So work your file into the board, not away, into the board. so we just get a nice clean crisp edge. Okay, now that we've cut all of our boards and we put our melamine edge stripping on, we're going to start to pre-assembling the panels together. So what we're going to do first is work on the actual carcass of the drawer cupboard. So we'll build the actual carcass first and then we'll do the drawers last. So what you will need is usually a 3mm drill and probably around about an 8 or a 9mm drill bit for your dowel holes, but I'll explain that to you when we just start marking first. So what you want to do is just grab maybe an offcut piece, and so it's 16mm, and we're just going to draw a line here along the edge there and on the bottom, so you have left and right. So don't mix them up because okay, here we go, like so. And usually what I do is I put 100mm, just make a cross. Also, you don't want to go crazy with your holes or the amount of screws, I should say, that you put into the board. You do have actual little tab stickers that go over the top of the actual holes, and most of the pre-assembled or the cabinets that you put together in the packs, actually they do provide you with the I think they're like a melamine self-adhesive sticker. Okay, so 720, half of 720. 360. 360 dead center. Okay, so after we've done that, we drill our holes. Usually what I like to do, okay, what I usually like to do first is do the dowel holes first. You don't have to get too aggressive, just enough for the head to sink in. That's enough. Just be careful with your drill too, because if you apply too much pressure you can go straight through the board in one go. And how do I know? Because I've done it before. Okay, like so. Okay, now that we've drilled our holes, we're going to put the cabinet together. Now, when you start, you usually start on the sides and the bottom base. So basically just assembling it together. Now, it probably pays to invest in a corner clamp, which you can get at most hardware stores, like the one I'm showing you here. I do have another one, forgive me, I don't know where it is. Okay, so we're going to start to put this together. So starting from the front, and because I don't have that second clamp, we'll just hang it over the edge like so I can get my clamp on. Okay, now we've built our cabinet, we have the holes. I'm going to just spin the cabinet round, show you guys. Around here. Man, I need a bigger workshop. Okay. Now, if you can see the holes, the actual cabinet. Now, when the cabinets are put in the kitchen, all of this is enclosed. There'll be a cabinet right next to it. But for demonstration purposes, I'll show you the stickers as in the description below. Self-adhesive screw caps they're called, so 250 pack. You can buy them in less than that, but anyway, so I'm going to show you what you do. You don't have to do this because this gets covered up, but for demonstration purposes, like I said, just like that, and like so. Now, I have noticed some of the actual kitchen cabinets that they do, that you buy on packaged kitchens, they actually provide you these stickers. Now they do put them on some of the when they attach to the shelves. I really don't like doing that, because what happens is you tend to drag items across the bottom of a shelf and they get knocked off. So that'll be when I'm actually assembling the kitchen. Another idea. Okay. Spin him around, jump the other way. And that's it. Done. Now we work on the drawers. Okay, now that we've built our carcass and our drawers, we need to install our drawer slides. So the drawer slides are these. These are the soft closing slides. So what you need to do is just install one of your drawers and just make sure that the slides fit. And what I mean by with fit is making sure there's enough clearance between the slide and the drawer. So usually what you want to do is just get your slide like that, two of them, so that faces on the outside, the other side. Okay, and just run one on each side like so. So there's enough movement there. You don't want them too tight, so I think it's around about 12 or 13 millimeters in between space. If they are too tight, the drawers are not going to work. They're not going to. You're not going to be able to just freely recline the drawer back into the carcass. So we'll just pull them out because they're not quite nice. Now, to install these slides, what you need to do is pull them apart. So what you do is you just gently pull that by the front, like so. And there should be a little tab on the end. Now what you need to do is push that tab down and pull it out straight like that. Now the two parts, so your main part goes onto the side of the cabinet. I haven't set squared my lines yet, but they usually go just there like that, and you've got your screw holes here and here and here. Then once they're in, you've got your slides. The second part of the slide goes onto the actual drawer. So on your drawer, you need to draw a 10mm line on your drawer cabinet, and this part of the tab needs to be at the front of the drawer. So you need to take that up there and draw a 10mm, or with the set square, 10mm line just between there, and you want it just like so. Once that's done, then you've done all 3 cabinets, then you can slide it into place. So we're going to start installing these slides. Put that there. Now with the measurements, they're all in the description below. That'll be our first measurement. There. Okay, now that we've got our slides on, we need to fit our drawers. Okay, so first thing, I've got it up on the bench, so you just put it on a nice flat surface, and you need to line the tabs up. So starting on one corner, the other corner there. Okay, so just a little bit of manoeuvring, and there we go. Pull that out, and like so. Beautiful. Okay. The second drawer. Cool. I think that's in there. Yep. Okay, so the cabinet's finished. Very nice. Now, I'll continue the video of installing the faces. Now, they aren't included in the budget as to the description in the video, but nevertheless I'll be showing you how to install the faces if you choose to. Well, you will be having to buy the faces for the cabinets. So this is the caboodle range, and a free set usually starts at around about $300. So what you need to do when you install the faces is you measuring the faces. So the top two drawers are the smaller and you have the larger. So just measuring them so 176 millimeters. So usually what I do is I start from the top of the cabinet to the bottom of the cabinet. Okay, so what I will do when we install this first face is, we know that it's 176 millimeters. So we need to measure from the top. Now when you measure from the top of the cabinet, allow 5 millimeters, because it's usually around about 5-6 millimeters. That's the top of your bench top on your kitchen. So measuring from the top and then to just the face of the first drawer, it's 32 millimeters. So 32 and 32. So, okay, I've already drawn a line of 32 millimeters. So, with your clamps, what you do is you pull your drawer out. And with that line, you line it with the top. I like the G clamps because I can, these quick release clamps are actually quite handy. Okay, I'll just get one up there temporarily. Probably a bit low. Okay. Okay, now the faces are on. That's your finished, well, not quite your finished product, but you still need to put the handles on, which I haven't got, which I've ordered online. And that's it. Now we have to put the legs on the cabinet. Okay, so I've taken the cabinets inside where I'm storing the rest of these cabinets, which are for my daughter's kitchen. So For demonstration, I'm showing you how to put these legs on the kitchen drawer cabinet. So these legs are self-adjustable, so you can adjust these, I think, to around about 150 to 200. Now the standard kitchen or size is 150 mil. So we want to set these back around about 80 mil because you have your kickboard at the front of the cabinet, and it's usually between 70 or 80 mil, and this one's going to be around about 80 millimeters. So just from the front of the cabinet, I'm going to set that down at 80 millimeters. Now you want to use a 35 mil screw, and we'll just drill. Well, in actual fact, before I do that, these pull out, by the way. It's easier to put on that way. So just this, do it on the bases. So at 80 millimeters, and we'll just screw them in like so. Okay, now we've installed the legs. This is the finished product, and it has come up quite nicely. And we've saved quite a bit of money. Thanks for watching, and please feel free to subscribe in the bottom of the link of the video. And once again, thank you very much for watching. Goodbye. So